Now, welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
All right, we're going to talk about something a little different, yet related to Star Wars, obviously. It's a little more on the collector's side of things.
I'm something of a collector myself.
Yes. We're going to talk about the interview that Chris Cox did with Yahoo Finance about these tariffs that are being imposed
On China.
China and how that affects Hasbro. Obviously, with like Black Series,
And vintage,
Hasbro has the licensing for the Star Wars toys.
They do for now.
They do for now, and currently they're more expensive than they used to be.
Well,
They used to be like $20.
They used to be $20 when they came out in like 2013 for Black Series. I'm talking about Vintage Collection is different, and it's $25 now, which 10 years, $5, 25% increase. Yeah.
Does still seem a bit much though for what you're getting, considering things like the Mattel lines and like the McFarlanes haven't increased.
Well, yeah, we've talked before about when you look at like Mattel when they make those Jurassic Park toys, they're like these giant toys and they got cool like motorized and noises and they're like $40. And then you look at a Black Series figure and like $25 and you're like skimping on accessories. Huh. What's that all about? Anyway.
So yeah, he was interviewed at the New York Toy Fair where he talked about they have been making efforts to move away from China, but that it's going to take a really long time to replace China in terms of manufacturing and stuff. And now because of the tariffs, they plan on passing those price increases on to the consumer.
Well, I think the problem is not necessarily that they're $25 per Black Series and like $17 for vintage. It's that they tend to claim to make deluxe figures and go $33 for them. And then we're getting a lot of reprints or, redos, essentially the same figure, maybe a little bit of different paints.
Right.
And, a different clone trooper or a Jedi that uses the same robes and a lot of the same parts. And they're like, well, we're reusing everything, but going to charge you another $25.
Right. So they save a lot of money because they're not making a new mold for a new piece.
Yeah.
They're using a mold they already have.
Or they're repackaging. Like they're having a 20th anniversary for Revenge of the Sith. Obviously this year they're releasing figures, but they're pretty much all the same figures, just on old school Revenge of the Sith packaging.
Right.
And it's like, well, I have all of these figures, but you want me to spend another $25 on them? Huh?
Yes, they do. All right. They have even talked about the fact that they have been doing cost optimizing designs, that's in air quotes, for the past 3 years, and that they would try to optimize even more to counteract some of the costs because of the tariffs. By cost optimizing, they're talking about how like some of the Star Wars figures, let's talk about, lack some of the accessories or detailed paint apps.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. When they sell a smaller figure and it doesn't come with a smaller price tag, it is a bit confusing.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got the big problem of, and I understand the tariffs, right? I get how that works. But you have the big problem of saying out loud, we're going to give you less and charge you more. That is never what a customer wants to hear.
No, not at all.
Especially on, as it's called, a luxury item, a hobby, essentially, right? Nobody needs, in air quotes again, Star Wars action figures. I mean, I might need them, but I don't need them.
But you do need them?
Well, yeah, and I make a fine addition to my collection, and maybe I'll put a quick clip of my Black Series collection up. Won't go into, all of it, but I'll just show it off here real quick.
What's funny is these tariffs, though, are 25% increase, which he was planning on passing on to the consumer. Yeah. But what's even more interesting is what he says about changing things to be a U.S.-based production. He says that would make things 50% more expensive.
Isn't that crazy?
Partially because the challenge isn't the price, but it's finding skilled workers to manufacture the toys. That they don't have the logistics, they don't have the supply chains for toy manufacturing because Southeast Asia has been spending 30-plus years perfecting that.
Yeah.
That's where everything is done, and because that's where everything is set up to be done.
It's kind of crazy to think to do that here would be 50% more because you're literally shipping plastic, tiny pieces of plastic around the world, and it's cheaper to do that than it is to make it right here.
Well, manufacturing went over to China, so the U.S. and other Western countries lost the skill to manufacture these consumer-type products like toys. We just don't do it at all.
One does have to wonder how skilled of a labor force you need for that.
Well, they also have to build factories.
Well, yeah, that's the expensive part, right? It's not that it's 50% more. It's that we literally don't have the means by which the equipment
right, that's where a lot of the problem comes from. They have to build the factories, staff the factories, build the supply chains.
Yeah, which I can't think that would be
not even every part would be made in the same factory. Some factories do this part, some factories do that part. So things get shipped around and moved around. And usually these things are just all outsourced to China and Asia, and they're set up to do this. They make toys.
It's like Santa's North Pole shop, right?
So it's funny because the tariffs are going to increase things by 25%, but then he's saying to move everything back here is going to be a 50% increase.
Yeah, but I'm curious if
so we're looking at a possible 75% increase over time?
Well, no, because you wouldn't need the tariffs, right? I mean, there's a part of me...
but once we're paying more, they'll be happy with us paying even more.
Well, yeah, of course. Like, that's what everybody's been pointing out. Like, if they put the tariffs on and in a couple of months the tariffs are gone, like, they're not going to knock the prices back down. That's the real problem here. This is just going to be a permanent increase no matter what. But, I mean, there's a part of me who would be okay paying a little more if I knew it was being made, here in my home country and I was supporting jobs here. And it's not necessarily against anything like China or the Chinese people, I should say.
But there's a certain pride about making something.
Well, yeah. I like to know that I'm helping my neighbor, essentially, right? Rather than helping somebody across
shopping at a small business versus shopping at Walmart or box chain.
Amazon or whatever. Yeah, we like to go to smaller shops when we can because when they have what we actually need, which the problem is a lot of them get shut down.
The community we live by is full of small businesses, exactly. So it's nice to support them when they can because these are people with dreams.
No, 100% right. We have a lot of smaller businesses that we pay more to support. But a lot of the time, it's a matter of, like, they literally don't have shops that sell that anymore. So you have to go to Amazon. But it's a whole other topic. But, yeah, you do like to know you're helping your neighbor, right? You do like to know you're buying here from the U.S. or wherever you may live.
Okay. Let's move on to something else collector-related.
Okay.
Well, starting yesterday at 8 a.m. Eastern, Disney Parks started selling the Mara Jade Legacy Lightsaber at Galaxy's Edge, Disneyland Resort, Walt Disney World, Disney Store.
And you ordered it for me because you love me. It's
$325. Oof. It's called the Emperor's Hand Limited Edition Legacy Lightsaber. It's a limited run of 3,500 pieces. It includes a new variant cover reprint of the 1998 comic book Star Wars Mara Jade by the Emperor's Hand, #1, which was written by, Zahn.
Timothy Zahn, yeah.
Yes, as well as his co-writer Michael Stackpole. The lightsaber blade illuminates purple to match the descriptions from the legends, and it comes in a really nice box. It's a wooden box, decorated with half Imperial insignia and half New Jedi Order symbol.
Only 3,500.
Only 3,500. And it sounds really cool, but at the same time, I wish that there were implications that this, could this somehow mean Mara Jade is coming? I mean, I want to say it does, but Disney's just out to make a dime, so probably doesn't mean that.
I mean, it's awesome. I'd love to have it, but I don't know that I have $325 to throw at it right now, especially when I have to pay more for my Black Series. I half joke. I don't know.
I know.
It's kind of funny. Like last summer when the second channel kind of lost demonetization there.
I kind of stopped.
I know you don't want to talk about it, but
hurt my feelings. It still
I mean, I kind of cut out a lot of my Black Series and I haven't really gone back full force into it. I kind of get here and there. I get some.
Mm-hmm.
I used to get all of them, and it hasn't happened.
I know.
No, that's not a complaint to you. That was YouTube being YouTube.
I know. I feel bad about that whole situation.
Yeah, but it was also me do I really need to get my 17th version of Darth Vader? Probably not.
Well, I like Darth Vader.
I know that was a bad example because you would take 17 versions of Darth Vader. But my point is I can't have it all, and that was kind of a reminder. I gotta pick and choose what I actually want. And if prices are gonna go crazy, I think they're in for a world of hurt at Hasbro. Though they have talked about moving away from physical toys and trying to do
weird.
Well, I know it's kind of weird for us to think because we grew up in the day and age of action figures. But
what they're doing is they're driving you to their competitors. If I have to spend $40 on a Black Series figure, or I can spend roughly the same amount of money getting an SH Figure Arts or a Figma, I might switch to those because those are better made.
Oh, it's not even close,
yeah.
I mean, you are paying. There's a reason those are a premium. Yeah. But I mean, I do think the future of Star Wars action figures is in trouble because they haven't been producing the greatest shows and movies lately.
Yes.
So when a new figure or new figures come out for something, you're like, do I really need Acolyte figures? Yeah, probably not.
Well, they're walking a hard line because more and more kids don't play with toys. These are collector toys now.
Yep.
So you have to actually make them for collectors, not just make them more expensive.
That is the 100% biggest problem, is the fact that it's an aging market, too. You're not going to see 10, 20, 30 years from now, the kids who grew up with maybe the sequel trilogy probably out there collecting the way you see kids from my generation in the 80s or back in the 70s or even the prequel generation. We're into toys because as you said, we played with them. This generation, a lot of them don't have that same experience. So are they really going to be collecting toys? Probably not. So you almost can't blame Hasbro for wanting to move away from that. because kids aren't playing with them, and eventually the adults aren't going to have the nostalgia related to them. So
Mm-hmm.
who are you going to be selling to? The 80-year-olds who will be left from those days, like myself, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Oh, boy.
I'll have my Black Series collection when I'm 90. You'll long since have left me.
Oh, yeah, that's true. The only way I'm leaving you is if I die first.
Don't even. I'm dying first. That's been decided.
That shouldn't be a race.
It's not a race.
You make it.
It's definitely not a race. We're not racing there.
Okay.
But if it comes to it, I'm winning that race.
No, you're not.
Why are we?
I don't know. You made it weird. Why do you gotta do that? You gotta take a video and make it weird. You ruin it.
I didn't mean to. Nobody's listening because we circled back to the action figure stuff by now. Most people left.
We're past that like 65% watch time we usually get. So now we're at the diehards who are like, yeah, we hear this weird shit all the time.
I know. See, you heard the boo swear.
I don't know if you heard anything. See,
that's why you watch 100% of our videos. Now I sound like that person. Like, make sure you like and subscribe and comment. And
you sound like it now because you said it.
I know. Because I usually don't do that because, if you like us, you know what to do. And if you don't, you probably didn't make it this far. So
bingo.
Why do I gotta tell you to do
So you tell people to like and subscribe at the very end because they're already gone.
Yeah, the people who are already subscribed are sticking to the end a lot of the time. And those who haven't subscribed, why are you saying like the first thing? Because they're not going to subscribe right away. They're going to want to watch
We have to go back to that thing we did for a while where we
put a secret word?
We put a secret word or a secret question at the very end and just have people comment without any context to see how that goes.
Death race.
No, that is not. That's a movie, and that's a really.
I know it's a good movie. Really.
Jason Statham, right?
Yeah, that doesn't make it good. He was
good.
Trust me.
Oh, trust me, he was good in it.
Oh, Jesus.
Wink.
Well, then we're going Death Race.
No.
Death Race or Jason Statham, either or bonth for bonus points. I feel like we're just milking it now.
And please just end this.
That's all we got for you this time. I'm so sorry if you made it this far.
This is the kind of stuff that makes memes not happen.
This is the kind of stuff that gets edited out of the end of the video a lot of the time, but I'm leaving it in this time. But anyway, that's all I got for you this time. Take to the comments below, say Death Race or Jason Statham. And I don't even know where I was. Talk some Star Wars. Talk to you next time. Bye.